I think that that's where we can transition into the Lakers discussion. This team is just under talented right now, and they are an ill-fitting group of players, as LeBron alluded to on opening night when he talked about the lack of shooting, saying they don't exactly have a lot of lasers out there in terms of when he's hitting guys for kickouts. We saw it again tonight. The Lakers shot 9 of 45 from three. They shot in their backcourt, Lonnie Walker, Patrick Beverley, 3 of 15 from three. Those are guys that they actually need to shoot. And they shot 3 of 15 from three last night. Even say that they shoot a more normal number, like 6 of 15, which is probably aggressive because that's 40% from three, right? Like, I mean, that's still a team that's shooting 12 of 45 from three and relying on Matt Ryan and Juan Toscano and, hoping that LeBron shoots, makes 3 of 8 from three instead of 2 of 8 from three. And he's shooting 37.5%, right? Like, this team just does not have shooting on it. And because of that, the offense really just kind of collapses in on itself. And you get a lot of these kick out passes where the ball just keeps rotating around. And they end up with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And sometimes the ball's out of LeBron James's hands and they're screwed at that point.
And it's just really weird because, I mean, we've seen what the recipe for success is on LeBron James teams throughout his career. Like how many Daniel Gibsons and J.R. Smiths and Mo Williams and Shane Battier, like how many dudes has he played with? Danny Green with the Lakers. Like I really don't understand why you wouldn't surround him with shooting for the second straight year. I know that they took a little bit of a different approach this offseason, getting rid of the older guys and bringing in some fresh legs. And like, that's good and all, but you still got to be able to produce, you know what I mean? And like you said, how many times did Patrick Beverley end up with an open shot? Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano Anderson, Kendrick Nunn was over 0-4. I think I would be okay with him shooting threes. I think that he can make them on most nights.
Right, but like I don't know if I want him on the court. Like, you know what I mean? Like he might not be good enough to like play for them because of his defensive liabilities and the fact that he can't score on the interior. So like it's hard. Like and look, we need to be real about this. Like it is Rob Pelinka this summer that like totally like bungled this, right? Like they could have tried to re-sign Malik Monk and given him the money that they gave Lonnie Walker. I know that Malik Monk got a little bit more from Sacramento, but they could have tried to have brought him back at the very least. LeBron, obviously, though, was a spearhead behind the Russell Westbrook move that ultimately left them without guys like Kyle Kuzma and without guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope that actually do fit them now. Like Kyle Kuzma is a good wing player that plays on both ends of the court. They just don't have, and like obviously the Pelinka travesty of re-signing Talen Horton-Tucker at the expense of Alex Caruso that like just completely bungled it. It's, we can talk about LeBron screwing up the roster on some level by pushing for the Russell Westbrook trade, but Rob Pelinka has not found shooters in multiple summers now. And it's just kind of unacceptable if I was a Lakers fan. And I talked about this whenever I talked about why in the world would they choose now to extend Rob Pelinka. This is what I meant. I mean, we're seeing the results of his offseason this past year.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, I don't know when he took over the position from Mitch Kupchak. I don't remember exactly what year that was, but I mean, you get the greatest player in the world decides he wants to come to LA and, and live in Los Angeles and follow all the great Lakers that have ever put that jersey on. So like, and that gets you a championship. But I mean, really, like, I don't know. I'm not going to say he didn't do his job, but I mean, you kind of luck into that. The Lakers were going nowhere. I guess that they accumulated some good draft picks with Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram and stuff, and they're kind of building that way. But just a lot of mismanagement of the roster for a lot of years. And, it just so happens LeBron walked in and kind of saved them. But outside of that, I haven't really been too impressed with a lot of the moves that they made.
Like the roster that he built for the year that they won the title in the bubble, I think is the exact type of roster that you should be building around LeBron James. You build guys that are two-way players who can shoot around him. Alex Caruso, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope,
Danny Green.
Obviously Danny Green played a huge role. Dwight Howard was happy to come in and play a role as a backup center, right? Like, just look at the guys they signed. I mean, like Matt Ryan played 13 minutes tonight.
And they need him out there.
Like all due respect. Like all due respect to Matt Ryan, but like this is a guy that like couldn't get minutes at Notre Dame and Vanderbilt and like had to transfer to Chattanooga and then like got better and got a chance and became a better shooter and developed. But like, I mean, this is where we're at, right? It's hard. It's really, really hard, I think, to look at the job that Rob Pelinka has done and feel like this is the thing. And on top of it, I know there were quotes after their opener against Golden State where Pelinka was saying basically, we're going to wait 20 games. That's what Adrian Wojnarowski reported, that the feeling right now is that they're going to wait 20 games before they make any sort of decision. We've seen enough here.
Decision in terms of what, like a trade?
Making a potential move to bring in more talent. We've seen enough at this point. This team does not have enough shooting. This team is ill-fitting. And they're still like kind of competing. Like they competed with Golden State for a half, who was the champion last year. They competed with the Clippers, who I think many of us, including myself, and I believe you, after having a conversation with you in the offseason, think is a very clear title favorite. One of them this year, let's call it.
Of course, yeah.
This team has a chance. Like I think that's what the last couple of games actually showed me on some level. This team with LeBron and Anthony Davis does have a chance. They just need to go out and find guys. The problem is, like, do you go out and do you wait until this summer? Do you wait until, you don't maybe have to move all of these draft picks to do so? It's going to cost both the 2027 and 2029 first rounders to fix this roster, though. Is it worth it? I mean, I think it depends on how much LeBron is going to push for it. And if he's going to be, disappointed enough to potentially like ask out at a certain point. There's no indication that he could do that right now, but that's where the pressure comes. And LeBron is very well established to be willing to pressure an organization with his potential departure, even though he signed an extension this summer.
I'm really surprised that it hasn't happened already. Not LeBron asking out, but the trade or some other roster moves. They signed them for, what was it, a 2-year extension, I believe, or something like that. They have him for a few more years.
It's like a 1+1, basically.
Okay, they got him in town past this season. Anthony Davis is healthy for not like you have two of the best players in the NBA. Why aren't you trying to maximize this window that you have them? It's bizarre to me.
They're in this they're in this dead middle zone. They have to commit one way or another. Like, it's weird to say, but you either have to move LeBron and Anthony Davis, or you have to go and like get them help. You can't just sit in the middle here, because that's where things just get useless, right? Like, there's no point. This team is not good enough to win a title as currently constructed, just period. This team's probably like not good enough to be in the top 6 in the West as currently constructed. You have to make a choice here. You have to decide, okay, we want to continue to be in the LeBron James business and continue to try and compete for titles because we have 2 of the top 10 players in the league, or like you should be getting rid of them. There's not a reason to do one or the other. And I'm not advocating getting rid of LeBron James. I think they should go the other way and make a move. But man, this is the position they're in when you misallocate resources like this. And it's like even small stuff too with Rob Pelinka, like the fact that they did not sign Austin Reeves to a 3-year contract and instead gave him a 2-year contract. The fact that they gave Lonnie Walker the full mid-level exception this summer, as opposed to giving him the full mid-level minus $950,000 or $980,000 or whatever it is, in order to sign Max Christie to a 3-year contract. You just drafted at 35 years old. It's the little things that continue to crop up for Rob Pelinka that have continued to build upon themselves at this point and are unacceptable when you're trying to build a real genuine title team after you've torn down your previous title team.
Do you think that any of the guys that are hurt for the Lakers right now could contribute? Like the Troy Browns, the Dennis Schroeders, like do they make this Lakers team better? Do they help this team win games? I think Dennis Schroeder could. I mean, it seems like they just need offense from him because they can't really get it from anyone not named LeBron or AD. I mean, I guess Lonnie Walker is doing okay, but I don't. It's just weird because then you're just gonna have another couple of guards out on the court, another couple of wings, and that can't shoot. I don't know. You tell me.
I think Dennis would help them in the minutes where LeBron is off the court. But Dennis is not exactly a reliable shooter. Like even last season, I think he shot something like 33% from three. I think that he would help in the minutes that he's off. I don't think he'll help when he's on the court with LeBron, because again, like the problem with the Lakers right now is that LeBron is getting penetration. He's touching the paint and then he's kicking out, and guys are just like rotating the ball around because either they can't shoot or they don't want to shoot. And it's resulting in shot clock violations, or it's resulting in, shots from guys that aren't high leverage shooters. Right. And I think that that's the real significant issue. If you're kicking out to Dennis Schroeder now, you're not going to take the ball out of LeBron's hands to put it in Dennis Schroeder's hands, because why on earth would you do that? So you're going to be kicking out to Dennis again. And I guess you can make the case that like Dennis can redrive and then try and kick it out again, but then you're just restarting the process of getting the team scrambling again.
That's what most of them are doing right now anyways, And
LeBron is doing that already. So yeah, I don't know if I don't like Dennis might help in the minutes where LeBron is off, and that's a genuine value add, but like, I don't think it's enough of a value add to matter. Troy Brown's just not a shooter. Thomas Bryant, he probably helps them just insofar as they don't have to play Damian Jones for 7 minutes a night. But like Thomas Bryant has some defensive issues that will crop up again and again. So I'm skeptical. I think they need to make a pretty substantial move. I think that move probably involves, going back to the well with Indiana and seeing if you can get Buddy Hield, or seeing if you can get Miles Turner or both of them. Hope that maybe by the trade deadline, maybe by, a different time, they relent and only ask for 1 first-round pick instead of 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think they need to wait 20 games to revisit that either. But
the problem is there, though, like if they should absolutely revisit it. But the problem is now the Pacers know they fucking have the Lakers over a barrel, right?
Yeah,
yeah. So I would have some real concerns about that happening right now, because I think it would involve both picks, and I don't know that it's totally worth doing both picks. The deal that is just like crazy to me is like Bojan Bogdanovic went for peanuts just because like he didn't have any more, like they were able to clear the books with moving him. It's surprising to me that the Jazz and Lakers couldn't come to some sort of agreement to do like a Bojan, Mike Conley, Bojan, Jordan Clarkson kind of deal.
Yeah, I wonder what the holdup is or was with that. He looked really good in the opener. Bojan did.
And it's clear too that, and we'll talk about that in a minute because we're going to talk about that game. But like, it's like based off of reporting from our Tony Jones over at The Athletic that deal was on the table, but it felt like Danny Ainge again. It feels like all of these other GMs feel like they have the Lakers over a barrel, and they're just negotiating so aggressively, hoping that they're the team that gets lucky and the Lakers finally agree to a bad deal, right? And that makes it hard to get a deal done. So it's hard, but I think we know at this point this team is not good enough and they need to do something. And what that something is, we'll see.
Yeah. They're competing, like you said, but competing doesn't get you wins. Like if you compete and don't get wins for another 2 or 3 weeks, suddenly you're 3-8, 3-9, and and just goes south pretty quickly.
It goes south pretty quickly. That's a good way to put it.